The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world. Why? To take back control of our personal choices, as well as our health and our freedom. I'm Nico Haan.
And I'm Paige Clarke.
And it's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater. It's 48 degrees, kind of cool for us, but it's kind of a refreshing, Paige.
Yeah, it's refreshing to be up this early,
yeah,
too.
Isn't it, though? It's a big change for us.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be it's a great way to start the new year.
Well, we've always talked about having that extra hour, and now we got it, so we're going to do it.
So we'll have time to explore more things, and
I think so.
maybe have some more guests, and we'll just kind of go down that rabbit hole a little bit more.
I've got definitely some really interesting stuff that's happening as far as globally, as far as the Earth is concerned. So we're going to definitely talk about that. Folks, please subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter.
And please order some of our Primal Edge, your daily nutrition with our wonderful miracle molecules of folate and of folate.
Yeah, and you can do this all on the TFNN website, and you can use those fabulous Tiger Dollars too. So
absolutely.
If you purchase Tiger Dollars during these specials that we have going on all the time, then you get a discount on top of that.
So how about that, guys? Staying in the Tiger's Den is going to keep you healthy while you're trading.
Of course, you can watch us on TFNN.mobi. That's the mobile app. iMobi, and we are taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648.
Yeah, let's see who's up and at it with us this morning.
Yeah.
I sent you this article, about, it was really, the article was stating, read this article before you eat turmeric.
Yes.
Turmeric, tomato. Turmeric is a wonder spice. However, a lot of people don't understand that in order to get its wonderful health benefits, there's a couple key things you need to be aware of.
There is, and I always claim that, herbs are still wild.
Exactly.
Whereas our vegetables and everything have been processed so much, they've been kind of selectively getting sweeter. So the good stuff is not there as much as it used to be, whereas all your herbs and your spices, dynamite. And
regardless of the taste profile, whether or not they're sweet or they're pungent or they're spicy.
Good point. Yeah.
Because in the science of Ayurveda, which is the ancient Indian, it's important to have all of these flavors. It's important to have the sweet, the pungent, the hot, the spicy, the tart. However, what you just said is right on, Nico. We talk about returning to a wild world, and there is so much domestication, and not just our animals.
No.
But in our plants and our body.
And ourselves, which is the real problem.
Right. And you know that I have some certain plants that I just love because I love the fact that they're wild and they're incorporating, the best nutrition for the cells because it's a symphony. Yep. And these plants are pulling together all the cofactors. So turmeric is one of them. And
it's a beautiful thing because on Sunday I fixed this rib roast.
And I bet you it was a beautiful smelling house.
Oh, it was great. And I have this new Instapot that one of my customers recommended. And it's kind of a pressure cooker and a slow cooker at the same time.
It's the big hot thing for making bone broths.
I'm telling you, well, I keep all the broths in these jars. So when, you put it in there and you saute it a little bit and then you put it on the rack and then you throw a little broth in there. And I'm telling you, every time I cook something, I get twice as much broth.
Right, and you're just building on that broth.
Exactly.
Right. So, the Instapot is really cool.
And what I did, exactly what this says, and I didn't read this article before, so I'm kind of proud of myself.
I don't blame you.
So let's say, how is this going to happen? In other words, turmeric is a great product, but it's not really available to us in its form without other things, is it?
And then it's just hard to absorb. And if you just look at how traditional cultures have used turmeric as a part of their Indian curries. See, again, ancient wisdom, now we can apply it to modern science. The ancients knew that turmeric, to get the flavor and consequently the health benefits, it requires immersion in fat and other spices such as pepper.
Healthy fats, of
right.
course.
So number one, always mix turmeric with black pepper. You know, if you keep your turmeric by the stove and you look at it anytime you're cooking anything savory, you can also use it, as you'll learn from us, in a special little turmeric super drink. You know, that you can have as a sweet drink. You still want to have it there available, so you think of using it just like you used it. Let's not just use it for the Sunday roast. Let's use it in the daily meal.
Yeah, and I really like that too. Now, when you use it in the proper way with the pepper and the great fat that you can get, the bioavailability shoots up 2,000%.
That
so
is
this
correct.
This is the way all spices work. They work in conjunction with each other, and then all of a sudden you get this explosion of health benefits. It's
exactly.
a miraculous thing.
Yeah, so that's the second key. In addition to using turmeric with black pepper, it's important that you add it to a healthy fat.
Yep.
And you know, we like, you know, that's the key. See, turmeric is a fat-soluble
Right.
herb. That's the key. Fat-soluble. They operate in that kind of an
Yeah,
environment.
so they work really good with meats. Then you leave that fat on there, and boy, it was like it fell apart, of course, and all the juices were in there. It was a
So the
remarkable
ghee
thing.
or coconut oil or grass-fed butter or maybe some olive oil, not cooked hard, you know.
Yeah, olive oil if it's really low temperature, and you do need to heat this to get the turmeric's bioavailability.
That is a critical point, folks. A lot of people are just popping the spice or whatever, and they don't realize that it's activated upon heat.
Yeah.
And
So I'm wondering how, like, if you're taking it as a vitamin.
Well, that's one of the reasons you have to work with people like my group,
Yeah.
Premier Research Labs, that knows how to make sure that it's bioavailable. And either I have two forms that I use. I use one that's encapsulated, and I actually open up the capsules as my spice because I know what oxidation can do to even the best spices.
Okay.
That's why it's really important that you deal with companies.
Right.
You know how I am about my moringa plant. It's,
Right.
you know, it's processed in a, you know, airtight clean room. The turmeric, same thing. What we do is I use it and sprinkle it on by the capsule. I also use a fermented turmeric. Fermented means it's already been broken down by probiotics.
Okay.
And I use that in a tea tonic, like my morning tea.
Nice.
I add a shot of that. I'll bring you some.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. And we had another article here that had this great tea from it. Right now I'm
Yeah,
stuck
well,
here.
they call this golden milk. This is a really hot thing now. It actually utilizes the benefits of turmeric, and usually it starts with taking the turmeric and heating it and making like a paste that you can keep in the refrigerator.
Right.
So then
Now, do you mix the turmeric with anything else, or
yeah,
just,
with some water, and you
some
put it
wa-
on the heat.
Okay.
And just remember warming it up a little
Right.
bit, and the pepper, of
Right.
course, and a little bit of the fat. And then you can later add to it.
Well, coconut milk is one thing. Of course, whole milk. You could just use water if you wanted to.
If you're using, you know, raw milk, which is what I prefer if you're going to have any type of milk.
Yeah, really better. Maybe a can of the pet food milk here in Florida, because we don't have raw milk available to us.
Yeah, exactly. So you would want to make sure that you didn't overheat it, so you could still get those enzymatic.
Yeah, but I will have it in the next Health Signals newsletter. And by the way, I've got a new one coming out here this morning, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in the last segment. But please stick around. The number here is 877-927-6648. Please pick up some Primal Edge, some Health Signals, and you're on your way to some good health and great information at the same time. Paige and I'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. You know, you can listen on your smartphone anywhere in the world. Just put TFNN.mobi, M-O-B-I, in your smartphone browser. You can watch us on Tiger TV. Just simply go to the front of the TFNN.com page. You'll see the little box there on the right with a picture of the smartphone devices, and just click on that, and our servers will know what service your device you're on. And you'll be delivered to the live Tiger TV stream, and with that you can see and hear the hosts, of course, and you can see all the charts and illustrations that we use on the show. Right now we're showing the Primal Edge, so if you're seeing that, you're doing it right.
Absolutely. Well, you know, this next article that we wanted to go over was this article about immunity and the emerging truth by Dr. Kelly Brogan, and you and I both adore Kelly Brogan. Kelly Brogan, MD, is the kind of doctor that is the doctor of the future.
Yes,
and
no doubt about it. Plus, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, well, yeah, and she's gorgeous on the inside.
Yeah,
she's got depth.
It shows.
And you know what? Let me just read this one thing before we get to this,
Sure.
because this kind of explains where she's at. You know, Eastern wisdom tells us that when we think we know, we don't. Mm-hmm. And but when we admit ignorance, that's when we find enlightenment. And she states that the most profound part of her departure from conventional medicine has been the depths of her surrender to that which we do not, cannot, and must not understand about the body and its experience. Yeah. Just, in other words, open to the fact that maybe what we think we know is not the truth.
Well, Western medicine tends to separate the parts of the human body into isolated units as if they didn't belong to something that's whole.
That's why people like me that are holistic practitioners are looking at the whole person.
Exactly. And when you look at that framework, it's kind of like looking at your car and just seeing a tire. It just doesn't make sense. That's not the way cars are built. And we're not built, we just don't have one arm or a heart or a kidney. Everything works in unison, kind of like what we were talking about with the turmeric and the salt and the fat.
Right.
Everything in our body is connected, and everything affects everything else.
Think of it like cofactors and synergists.
Good.
Those are, you know, many of the formulas I use have active cofactors and synergists. Mm-hmm. We have that in the Primal Edge to make sure that it's bioavailable and used by the body. So the pepper and the fat in the the turmeric, the wonderful substrate that you can use in your golden milk or use it in cooking, activates the active ingredients. And such is the way with the body.
Yeah.
The body doesn't operate by itself. Your heart, your lungs, your brain, your gut, they're all in a symphony. You know that what I practice is cell resonant healing.
Yes.
Cell resonant healing is realizing that the way we heal, we can't be well unless we heal the cell.
I read more and more articles about people using sound, people using smoke, people using the voice.
Stuff that I send you all the time.
Yeah, of course. And I read it because it really makes a lot of sense when we look at what our ancestors were doing with the smoke, with the chanting. If you really go deep into these chants, they're really talking very nice to the body and specifically to the cell that is the problem or the part of the body that's a problem. And when they're talking this way, medicine men have these great voices that they use that resonance into the body.
Exactly.
And we're forgetting all that. We're saying, actually, the belief, the Western belief at its core is that germs are bad, that they kill us if they get near us. And we don't have to know how to defeat them, so now we need this drug that somebody came up with.
Well, this allopathic germ phobia is what is actually killing us. I mean, we've become desolate in our sterility. When you just talked about using sound, what we're looking for is I like to refer to certain things as angel tonics. Mm-hmm. And, I use that word. You know how I always talk about angel is really another word for angle, mm-hmm. which is an angle of light.
Wow.
So, and light is the same thing as sound. Well, what our cells are looking for is a resonant, it's like an angel is, I have this little thing that says a sister is someone who reminds you, he sings you back the words to your song when you've forgotten them. Well, that's what we're looking for when we're using a nutritional supplement, or we're using sound, or we're using a homeopathy remedy, or you're using flower essences or essential oils. Mm-hmm. It's the body hears that sound and says, I know how to perform. Yeah. That reminds me how I'm supposed to perform.
So true. When the cold started coming in, and here in Florida we start opening the doors up, and everybody's going, oh man, this feels so good. The natural air is coming in. Yes. You can smell the ozone coming in. You can smell the flowers again, or you bring flowers in. Why do we instinctively have these feelings, and why do we do these things? It's because it's good for us. Mm-hmm. We have lost the connection, folks, between us and the environment. And just think of our environment is our food.
Exactly.
So we have to start getting back to it, because if we look at America today and we just go to the mall or go to the airport and start looking at everybody, and you can see that there's a big problem here.
They're disconnected from nature but connected on their Wi-Fi. And we need to disconnect and reconnect with the real
everything
network,
else, yeah.
which is nature. This article goes more into kind of, we're talking about the heart of immunity, and we get into the gut health, and it's an excellent article. But that vaccinations are really an ego-driven effort. The vaccination movement is really about assuming that man knows better than creation, mm-hmm. and I beg to differ. How about you?
Well, nature's been here a lot longer.
Yeah.
So I think that answers the question right there. Mm-hmm. But what really gets me, and we don't have a lot of time left in this segment, but the reconnection of the earth is so important to us, and I really do believe on the track that we're going as humanity is. When you look at what's happening in the Middle East, what you're looking in Oregon, or whether you're looking at the unstable areas of the earth with earthquakes and volcanoes, Mother Earth is going to change and going to take over again. Mm-hmm. And we just have to be ready for it. So I recommend for people to start digging up some of this information that I'm also putting in the Health Signals newsletter mm-hmm. on the electric universe. It's when I first started digging in there, I thought it was kind of way out. Now I'm thinking it's right on. Mm-hmm. Because we're electric, we know everything resonates with us. There's even a new theory that earthquakes are actually lightning underground. Mm-hmm, because it's all electric, and we need to get back to having this wild world, because that's where all the nutrition is, that's where all the great food is, and it's much more exciting. if we have everything wild and we go. I mean, take a walk in the woods and you're going to just see that this is the way it should be.
Yeah, I've got a little excerpt from another article that I sent for our show that talks about the fact that many cultures are very aware that we are electrical beings and that healing is actually voltage and electricity and current. And you know, that's really an important thing. So getting back to this one article, it's kind of this rediscovery of the microbiome, that this synergy that we have, the symbiotic nature between ourselves and our environment. And our environment, folks, for many of you that have been listening, you know, we have 10 times the microbes in our gut than we have human cells. Think about that for a minute. We have 10 times the microbes in our gut that we have of all of our human cells. This is an environment that needs to be nourished and protected.
That's for sure. Number here, folks, is 877-927-6648. And please pick up some Primal Edge. $89 gets you a monthly supply, just what you need of our one-shot wonder. Please pick up a Health Signals newsletter. I have a new one coming out. And this will give you lots of information, how to dig deep and find out how to get healthy, how to get just fit and have a good frame of mind about yourself and about your family. We'll be right back.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And welcome back. This next article I want to share with you is what one doctor would do if immediately if he or she was diagnosed with cancer. And we know that statistics show
The doctors don't do what they give us.
Yeah, they don't. It's like don't watch what they say, watch what they do. And what they do is 78%, roughly, give or take a number there, do not subject themselves or their loved ones to chemo, radiation, and surgery. So that's a pretty telling statement, folks. And again, it kind of ties into what we were talking about in the last segment. That when we're looking at disease as a isolated incident, by saying you have liver disease or kidney disease or heart disease, is looking at the body as a mechanistic, isolated event. Instead, we should be looking a little bit closer into what was the cause that this disease, that created the situation where this disease came. So let's talk a little bit about how functional medicine, which I believe is the type of medicine that doctors like Kelly Brogan practice. I believe functional health is what I share and practice.
Definitely. Well, functional medicine empowers patients and practitioners to achieve the highest expression of health by working collaboratively to address the root of the disease. It is an emerging, personalized model of diagnosis and treatment that better addresses the need to prevent and manage chronic disease. In a word, it is medicine of the why, not the what.
And that's a great, great definition.
And this
right
is
there.
what you tell me all the time. Functional medicine doctors are like soil farmers. Remember, in the Primal Edge, we start off with the soil-based humic and fulvic acids that are soil-based microbes that is the basis for telling the cells what to enter into the cells and what to expel.
And just think about that like the microcosm and the microcosm, macro and microcosm. So if we've got these soil-based organisms that are actually becoming like the directors of a symphony, telling the cells. We call them the little alchemic geniuses. They tell the minerals and everything, hey, we need more of this. We need a little more of this. Oh, you're a bad mineral, you're a compound that's a toxin. We're going to bind you and get you out of the body. We're going to take these and transform them into usable things. It goes back to that whole thing. Functional medical doctors and functional health practitioners teach people how to stay well, how to prevent disease. They create a healthy soil so pests can't come and the weeds can't flourish. A healthy soil means disease can't take hold. And that goes back to the days of Louis Pasteur, father of the germ theory, and Beauchamp, who was the French doctor who said, it's not the germ, it's the soil. It's not the germ, it's the body. What's the condition of the body? So that's our goal, is to help you from a functional perspective, make yourself, prone to not developing diseases, and that's our goal.
Yeah, and cancer results because of an imbalance in the system. So many people are walking around with tumors and don't even know it. We can do something to prevent them from growing by maintaining that healthy soil that Paige always talks about.
And that's the focus on the tumor. The tumor, folks, is not the cancer. That's something that just drives me crazy. The tumor is our body's beautiful attempt to isolate the rogue cells from spreading anymore. And then what do? We go in there and stick a biopsy needle and spread it around the body, right. like when you blow a dandelion. So my comment is, obviously the tumor is a symptom that there are some rogue cells that are trying to be quarantined.
Yes.
My argument is let's go deeper and let's fix the environment so that the body will then start to break down that tumor in those cells and be able to expel them.
Yeah, and again, folks, we're not saying that there isn't a place for some surgeries. Certainly there are. There may be some place for even radiation or some chemo. I don't know what those things are. There's people better than me that do.
Yeah, we're not medical doctors, and we're not treating. We're certainly not recommending that you not abide by your medical doctor's advice. That's important that they become an important part of your team, but, team means together everyone achieves more. And if you have a team of healers and practitioners that are applying knowledge to how to help the body, arise from a challenge like this, your results are going to be so much better.
Well, for me, the thing starts with what you're taking every single day as food.
Yeah.
That's the key here.
Because that's your source of energy.
Exactly.
Or inner chi, or chi, which is life force.
Right. So when you start with a healthy food, and we'll be discussing ad nauseum about what is really good food and what isn't, and it's basically unprocessed food. If it looks like what it started out to be, then you're pretty well there.
Well, we were engineered to eat raw food, and we've been duped into eating cooked food. Now, when I say that, our primal people started cooking meats, but I believe that they, when they were cooking meats and so forth, they were getting plenty of live food as well. You see?
Well, there's no doubt about it. What cooking allowed us to do is save a lot of energy so our brain could grow. So that's pretty established fact that cooking definitely helped that. And when we start looking at the fats and heating the fats and using the spices and all these herbs and animal meat with it, then you can see cooking as a good thing. But remember,
to a degree,
remember
Nico,
what
you know what? You know why I say that? Because there's a lot of studies that talk about overcooking.
Oh, there's no doubt.
And I mean,
Sure.
and what that does to the immune system in terms of a system called leukocytosis. What is leukocytosis? It's your leukocytes, your white blood cells. It's an immune. The body sees it as something it doesn't have the enzymes to digest, and I'm very.
Right.
That's really where my coaching and practicing is going, is teaching people about enzyme nutrition.
Right.
But I agree with you that the cooking, and especially in today's world, we need to because of the tainted nature of our food supply.
Yeah, but remember, folks, that if you're looking at our ancient people, and I'm not talking about 30, 40,000 years ago, we can look 1,000 years ago. If you just take your diet back to what your grandmother was eating, you're going to be much healthier than if you're eating the standard American diet. But if you look back 500 years or 1,000 or 2,000 years ago, you're talking about people who were eating different parts of the animals that we're eating. They were eating the organs, the brains, the blood, the intestines. We're eating the meat. They thought this was an afterthought. They thought the meat was often discarded and given to the pets and dogs and things like that. They were eating wild plants. They weren't eating domesticated plants. They weren't eating domesticated animals. They were eating wild animals. Just think about a spirit of an animal, the spirit of a plant that's wild. It's there surviving on its own without any help.
And think about the spirit of a domesticated CAFO animal, confined animal feeding operations. That is where the source of the food supply for most Americans is, from confined animal feeding operations, which are deplorable, horrible situations that truly break the spirit of the animal. I struggle, sometimes, because I truly believe if people are subsisting on our American food supply meat and not seeking out conscious sources or sources where we know the animals are being raised in a humane way or living a life as up close to wild, then it's hard not to sometimes think we should eliminate these animal foods from our diet because of the low quality.
Yeah, and a caged bird thinks that flying is something foreign to him, and that is just not right for the bird. So.
Yeah.
Let the birds fly
it has a big
free.
impact.
We'll be back in a few minutes, folks. Still time to call us if you'd like. 877-927-6648. Primal Edge is next. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living Primal Lifestyle. We're going to go over the Health Signals newsletter, Volume 7. This is Issue 1. 7
How about
years.
that?
It's amazing.
It's a fantastic newsletter. If you haven't subscribed, definitely take the time to do it.
It's $10 a month. You get 2 issues on the first and third Tuesday of every month.
And, we spend time all during the week providing content that has great links, and people that are subscribing, maybe some of them, let you know in the chat room, they love it. They love it. It's well worth their time.
So the first article is about eating eggs, and of course these things have been demonized for the last 30, 40 years, I would say.
Yeah, and that one kind of talks about the fact that there's studies that show in Finland that it can help reduce the potential for type 2 diabetes. You know why, probably? A lot of it probably has to do with the fact that...
it's the fat.
Yeah, it's the fat, and it's the fact that people aren't beginning their day when they are, insulin resistant. In the morning, we're insulin resistant, and the worst thing you can possibly do is eat a lot of heavy carbs and foods that turn
Especially
to sugar.
Cereals. Yeah, cereal with sugar, or cereal with fruit, or
cereal
fruit
with
juices.
skim milk.
Yeah. Worst thing you can start off with is fruit juice in the morning, or anything like that.
It's almost the complete opposite of what we do. Although, if you have a little bit of juice along with maybe, if you're having a small amount of juice with a protein breakfast, then that juice is going to be slowed down a little bit. I mean, cultures have been doing that for a lot of years.
It depends how sensitive you are. It depends on what your diet was right before that. Because if you're eating badly for 5 or 10 years, or 50 years, then your insulin is going to spike immediately upon anything like that.
Absolutely. I think it's true.
Second article is the ketogenic diet, the most effective way to lose weight.
A lot of people may or may not know what ketogenic diet is. A ketogenic diet is kind of on the far spectrum where there's very little carbohydrate consumption at all, really, and you're utilizing the ketones that are produced as energy. And it really is proving, there's a lot of evidence that proves that the most successful...
Huge amount of it. And I've been on a ketogenic diet now for those 7 years. And I think as I go on, I find more and more that I'm eating less and less of the carbohydrates. I do enjoy the vegetables, the real dense ones. I do enjoy the herbs and the spices the most. And I eat, it's funny because, you're thinking that you're eating a lot of meat and stuff like that, but like the pork chop we had last night was about the size of the palm of my hand with the bone a little bit bigger. And, of course, the fat was on there, too. and we had an avocado with it. So that was our meal. Completely satisfied, not hungry the rest of the night, no need to snack or anything like that. This morning I had a couple eggs and I had one little piece of sausage. I have my bulletproof or tiger brew coffee, which I'm drinking right now. Before I go to jiu-jitsu this afternoon, I'm going to have a little whey shake with some MCT oil in it and maybe some collagen. That's pretty much my daily thing. Weekends, it doesn't change much. The only thing that changes on Saturday, I might have a drink, alcoholic drink.
Right, and you know, I eat in a similar way. I probably eat even less. I pretty much do an intermittent fast from 8 o'clock the night before, and I really use my teas, coffee when I'm drinking coffee. To use that morning as kind of a cleansing, intermittent fast that, I'm creating, and I don't have that hunger, and then I eat a nice lunch. I don't have a need to snack. If I do snack, it's going to be something very healthy, enzyme-rich, whether it be nuts or seeds or an apple, and then a nice dinner. Yeah.
Since paleo came out, and of course this is more like a paleo type of diet, there's a lot of snacks that come up. Now, the paleo snacks that people, look at this.
Well, that's because the commercial people want to make money.
Well, of course it is. If you're snacking, that's a sign that there's a problem with your diet.
And, this is one of the challenges I have. I'm really trying to get away from the word diet. I almost hope we, on this show this year, it's a lifestyle. We're teaching a lifestyle of way to nourish your body and your soul and your energy field. You're bringing in energy. Food is a source of light, because that's the only reason you're having it. It's light. And if it's completely dead, then there's no light. And that's what our cells communicate on. This was proven. This isn't woo-woo science. This is proven.
So we have another article about celery that helps the brain and shrink cancer too. So here we have another thing that's probably closer to a herb or a spice, almost celery, because you can use celery as spice.
Yeah, is that right? We've got celery seed and celery salt, and that's not to say that a lot of vegetables can't be used as a seasoning. Peppers, peppers are used.
Exactly.
And celery, is very effective against helping to keep blood pressure in the normal range. 6 stalks a day.
Peppers, people are growing these to become more peppery or stabilize the peppery instead of trying to make it sweeter like we do with the other vegetables. Kind of interesting thing. There's another article here that natural cures once ruled the land over in the United States before Big Pharma took over.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the Flexner report.
And there's a great chart on here, and you can expand this chart so you can actually look at it.
The old pharmacopoeia map.
Yeah, it's a great thing. And the same thing, old wives' tales they still hold true, and there's many of them, like, of course, chicken soup for a cold and things like that. So this is a nice article that details that whole thing. Another article on the anti-aging secrets of sunshine. We have an article here about salt, sugar, and fat, how the food giants have hooked us into this paradigm of eating this way and what it's really done to us. Great article here on the electric universe, tying wars and famines of the past to things that happened on the sun. We're going into a grand minimum, which only happens about every 400 years. And the last
and we
time,
had Ben Davidson on, he told us about that.
Yeah, and we think that this is probably going to happen starting maybe next October. It's going to start really starting to get a lot colder. And this is one of the theories that we're following, and I thought it would make it interesting to insert a little bit of this evidence each time so people can start to prepare themselves that this may indeed happen. And if you start reading some of these links that I'm going to put in there, there's one here with Peter Mungo Jupp from Australia that talks about this, but his site is filled with different areas of the world where catastrophes have happened from the minimums.
Yeah, and the minimum being minimal solar activity.
Yeah,
the sun is calming down in its activity.
Yeah,
and
what really
happens to people though? What in a nutshell?
Yeah, and there's brain activity.
There's more war and famines during these times.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
But we think it's because of what's happening environmentally. People go crazy because, what if a lightning bolt that instead of being the normal lightning bolt is several acres of lightning just in one bolt and hits the ground and destroys everything, and then people are left there saying, oh my God, this is the end of the world, that type of thing.
Right.
There's an article here on the alcohol's effect on health and what science really says about it.
And that's, that part of that article, too, is there's actually a great little research done on the power of alcohol used in kind of, in treatments of illness.
Yeah. In the Spotlight Extreme Medicine book, there's some great recipes
Great
in
recipes,
here.
folks.
How to smoke a whole chicken, that type of thing. Exercise, I'm really talking about a new paradigm for the future and using your body weight as the tool, and how to get back into nature and discover exercise, climbing trees and doing all kinds of wonderful things.
Yeah, just using your body the way we were meant to, as to experience life and enjoy life.
Yeah. We'll be back for the last segment, folks. Stick around, please. The number here again is 877-927-6648. Please pick up some Primal Edge, pick up the newsletter, and see us every single morning from 7 to 8 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll be back.
When you first learn something in life, you have the most questions as you begin to apply that knowledge, which is why Steve Rhodes came up with the idea for his 7-week trading program. It all begins Saturday, November 22nd, when Steve Rhodes will host a live 3-hour morning workshop where he'll teach his attendees the precise methodology he uses when placing trades. You'll then receive 6 weekly updates each Monday morning discussing the possible alerts currently setting up in the market. Steve will then bring everyone back together for a final 3-hour live workshop Friday, January 9th, where he'll discuss the methodology that went into each of the 6 weekly updates, making sure that you're confident in applying what you've learned so that you can begin navigating the market on your own. You can sign up right now for this entire 7-week trading program with Steve Rhodes for a one-time payment of only $395. If you're a Mastering Probability subscriber, then you can save an extra $100 off that price. For all the details, visit the front page of TFNN.com right now.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV. But if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
Welcome back. Do you talk to your cells? Well, you should be. Having conversations with your cells can be of benefit in all areas of life, including your spiritual progress.
Yeah,
Paige.
this was done by a guest writer from Wake Up World, and we were talking a little bit about that fact that our microbiome, or the bacterias, symbiotic bacterias, outnumber our human cells, but we sure have a lot of human cells. And our human cells are, it's been proven, they react to consciousness. They react to positive or negative reinforcement.
Yeah.
So it's important that You know, we've talked about the fact that water is actually a crystal in the body.
Yes.
There's a fourth phase of water.
Right.
There's solid, liquid, gas, and then the crystalline structure, which is what our body water is supposed to be. But we've got EMFs and all these toxins and so forth, and from the perfect nature that we become as babies, we slowly become unstructured, disorganized in carrying our information. So we need to restructure information. Dr. Emoto's work showed that by giving positive intention and emotions and positive words, these have an impact on the structure.
Intention. There's a good word, Paige, because intention is everything. There's no doubt about it. There's been experiments done with dogs showing that when you separate the dog and the owner, the intention of the owner to come back home puts the dog at the door. So, and we have that too. My dad always told me, you know, when you think of things that you want for yourself, think of it in a positive light. When you're intending to go about your day, put the intention in a positive light.
You know that saying?
What?
If you intend to win or lose, either way you're right. Whatever one you believe is what you will achieve.
That's so true, because my experience in jiu-jitsu, going to competitions, which I have one coming up in March, and I started training Saturday for that. The intention of winning is a huge thing, because if you have a doubt, it does skew what happens on the mat. It's an amazing, amazing thing. I've always been a very, very positive individual throughout my whole life. When something negative happened to me, something either I did, I screwed up somewhere, or it happened to me, I always turned it around and said, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I go positively from here? And I think that's what they're really talking about. You're talking individual to the cell, because it's kind of like eating something. Your body knows what to do with the food if it's good. It sends it to the right areas to start the repairing. Your body knows. And the same thing, your body really doesn't know any difference from you telling me something or me telling myself something. If you say something negative to me, you know, there's this cringing that happens. Maybe you don't see it, but in your private areas you kind of cringe. That's where you tighten up.
Absolutely.
And when you have something positive given to you, then you open up. There's an opening that happens. And I think that's a real positive step to anybody's future, is start telling yourself positive things that you're going to do and that you want other people to do. And really, what you want to do for other people is even more important.
I totally agree with you there, Nico, and I think it's like one of the things I teach people I work with is be careful how you talk to your body, because it's listening.
Yep.
And every one of those trillions of cells is listening and wants to keep you healthy, wants to keep you happy. And you know that old saying, fake it till you make it. Maybe sometimes it's worthwhile to just go ahead and think good thoughts about yourself. You know, the placebo effect kind of pans that out for us, right? Things work 50% of the time. Is that intention there that you're going to get a successful outcome?
Well, that's our show pretty much for today. You know, John Logan of TAS Marketing Research is next on TFNN with the Global Market Pulse. And John is taking your calls on the show at 1-877-927-6648. So stick around for that. Thanks for sticking around with us.
We'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah, on Thursday. It's going to be a great thing. And please pick up the Primal Edge and take a look at that newsletter. I think you'll find that it's very useful in discovering health for yourself. Bye-bye.
Have a great rest of the week.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.